Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is how to make these Taylor Swift inspired cupcake toppers. To begin, I rolled out white, black, yellow and pink fondant and cut out 2 circles of each colour except the yellow, large enough for my cupcakes. Once cut out, I put these aside to start drying on a sheet of baking paper. I then cut out 4 small hearts of the black fondant while it was already rolled out and placed them to the side. Using my letter embosser, I then pressed the word fearless into the yellow disc of fondant. I then rolled out a deep blue fondant to cut out another circle and press the word midnight into the fondant using the same embosser. Rolling out more white fondant, I cut out 12 small white circles to use later once dry to write the word Swiftie to make a bracelet looking topper. While those were drying, I moved on to cutting out 4 large pink bright hearts. Once cut out, I then used the same cutter that I used to cut out the black hearts earlier and used that to cut out the inner part of the pink heart. Once the inner part of the pink heart was removed, I replaced it with the black heart from earlier. I did this for all 4 hearts and then left them to dry. For the next topper, I traced onto baking paper the word red in the size that I wanted to use to fit the cupcake circle. Then used a sculpting tool to leave the impression of the word onto the red fondant.
I then used a knife to cut out the letters.
Once all the letters were cut out and I was happy, I left them to dry. I then repeated the exact same method for the word rep in the Reputation font. Traced the word rep onto the baking paper and then used a modelling tool to leave an impression on the yellow fondant before cutting it out. Once cut out, I transferred the letters onto some baking paper to paint in edible gold. Once covered, I left them to dry. Now to make the lover's heart, I marbled pastel blue, pink and purple fondant together and rolled the fondant out. Drew a heart onto baking paper and used a modelling tool to leave the impression on the fondant before cutting it out. I did this as I didn't have a heart cutter in the right shape. I then left this to the side to dry with the other toppers. Now bringing back the small white round circles that I cut earlier, I used an edible black marker to write a letter on each circle to spell out the word Swifty. Then rolled out some of the pink fondant that was used for the fondant hearts earlier. I then used a cutter to cut out thick lines of fondant. If you don't have one, you can always just do this by hand. Now to finish the sunglasses topper, I stuck down with water the black and pink hearts on each side of a fondant white disc. Then attached a small bit of pink fondant to the middle for the part that sits on the nose, and then I used 2 small pieces on each side of the heart to make it look like the sunglasses arms. Now for red, again using another white disc, I stuck down the letters using water. I then did the exact same for the word rep, but on a black disc of fondant. For the pink disc of fondant, I used water to attach the letters for Swifty in a semicircle. I then used edible glue to stick down different types of sprinkles to make the band look like a friendship bracelet. To finish the midnight topper, I used silver and white edible paint to flick speckles of paint onto the blue disc of fondant to make it look like a starry background. To finish the lover topper, I traced the word lover onto baking paper in the same font as the album. I then left an impression on the fondant using the modelling tool, and then used edible purple paint to paint the word lover using the impression as a guide. With all 12 toppers complete, I then left them to dry overnight. The following day, I placed them on top of vanilla cupcakes with vanilla buttercream. I dyed the buttercream purple, pink and blue and piped a single rosette and then gently pressed the topper onto each cupcake so that it would stick to the buttercream. I think my favourite topper has to be the friendship bracelet. Leave a comment below to let me know which one is your favourite. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with the latest videos. See you next time!